All right. Hello and welcome back to my podcast, the Core Growth Podcast. Look, I know it's been a while. I've been really occupied, um, but I'll get into that. Anyways, I hope you've been well. I hope life has not been harsh. I hope everything's been smooth sailing. And well, if it hasn't been, then I'm sure that will come around to you pretty soon. Because I do know life can get pretty hectic, and yeah, well, that's just how it is with life, right? Um, all right. I didn't really have any kind of like topics that I had prepared for this, but I mean, there's a huge one. Um, at least for me personally, there's a huge one. I caught the Rona. I caught Corona. I caught COVID um, not too long ago. So I'm recording this on the 26th of July, and probably would have had it for maybe 4 or 5 days by now. But yeah, um, man, Corona got me good. Caught me slipping, but you know what? That's all right. It was bound to happen eventually. Uh, but yeah, no, for me, COVID actually came around like pretty hard. I got hit really heavily with my sicknesses because it wasn't just COVID that I caught. So I had COVID, and this is what towards the end of July, third week of July, kind of. And at the start of July, I had a throat infection, and apparently that didn't fully heal, or I didn't recover 100% from it. So when I went to the doctor some time ago, I still had my throat infection. So not only did I have COVID, I had a throat infection. So that's like two illnesses with the symptoms, or with fever as a symptom. And then I also had either the flu or the cold, because I was just like coughing so much, and like only at home. I was only coughing at home. Um, yeah, I was coughing a lot, and I was spitting out mucus, like that green phlegm. Like I was spitting out so much of that because there was so much in my lungs for some reason. So yeah, I got hit with like three illnesses with the span of like 3 or 4 days, and I'm like, far out, dude. This sucks. This freaking sucks. But overall, I'm getting a lot better. Um, what do you call it? I think my throat infection is like 80% gone. Um, but I mean, I thought that last time, and it came around pretty quickly, so I won't completely rule it off. I've still been coughing quite a lot. Um, so I don't think I'm fully like over the cold or over the flu, and I definitely still have COVID. I can tell the difference in my breathing and like how it feels. Like I don't know, the way I feel like the symptoms of COVID is like um when I breathe, I feel like I'm in a swimming pool. Like the water pressure is like tightening my upper chest and my diaphragm area, all of that. That's like how I feel COVID. And if I still had like a really bad heart condition like I did before, my survivability might not be too high from COVID. I'll be completely honest. It's pretty grim, but I'm kind of glad that my heart condition isn't as bad as it used to be. It's not like dangerous, but yeah, far out. When I heard I had COVID, I'm like, oh, far out, dude. Well, not heard. I mean, I took one of those rapid test kits, and it was like clear as day that I had COVID. Like, yep, that line is bright as hell. bold as hell. But yeah, hopefully I'll get better soon, and hopefully I'm able to spend time with my parents more again, because that was like, oh man, that was the worst. Like I still live with my parents, but I'm like barely able to talk to them because of the isolation. But well, in due time, hopefully, things will turn up. But yeah, besides that, besides COVID, besides my physical well being, I think mentally, um, I've been pretty good. I've been pretty good, uh, like with my mental state and like with how things are at home and like my own personal life, my goals, my achievements, where I see myself, like everything. I think everything's been going pretty well so far. There are a few things I need to work on that I know I need to work on, and I'm sure there's a few other things that I don't know I need to work on. But yeah, I'll figure that out eventually. In like I said, in due time, things will work out. That's kind of how I see things. Um, yeah, it's this last like 6, 7, nearly 8 weeks. It's been pretty ridiculous. Like I started working at the 2nd of June, which was my birthday, right? My first day at work. Um, my first day at work was my birthday, and I didn't even realize it. But that's I don't know. Maybe that's a story for another time. But yeah, no, the past 6 to 8 weeks, 6, 7, 8 weeks, I've been working, right? I don't know if I honestly don't remember if I spoke about it on on my last episode. I have no idea. It's been way too long, and yeah, hopefully I can maybe get my hours a bit lower so that I have more time to make content and do more podcast episodes or make more videos on my gaming channel, something like stuff like that. Um, but yeah, no, these past like month and a half, I guess, or nearly 2 months now, I've been pretty ridiculous. Um, I've been working at a club. Um, it's classified as a club. People in the 20s to like 30s probably wouldn't consider it a club, but by definition, it is. Because when people think of a club, they think about like um, like a bar. There's a bar where I work. They think about like a nightclub. They probably think of a nightclub where you just meet people and stuff like that. More of a social thing. Um, but yeah, no, the place that I work is pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's a nightclub. It's definitely just a club. um, but yeah, work's been pretty interesting. I've met a lot of wonderful people. A lot of wonderful people. Everyone there is great, honestly. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to kind of explain or describe it, but everyone's been wonderful. Um, and I don't know, it just reminds me of high school again. Like, more or less, it's just doing like some tedious tasks and like you're still like chilling with the homies pretty much. Um, but yeah, it is a pretty strict work environment. They kind of have a professional reputation, and what that means is like they have really high standards. And high standards means a lot of rules to follow, even tedious ones that don't make sense. And unfortunately, it's made a lot of people either be let go or leave. And quite a few good people left recently. Unfortunately, like some really cool people. I'm like, oh man, why'd they have to go? But that's how life is, right? People come and go. But yeah, no, work has been fantastic, and I like on the first month of when I was working, I planned to buy a better laptop, and it was the Dell G15 special edition, and it was ridiculous. It was like $800 or $900 off its retail price on their website, on the Dell Australia website, like around that. I think 800 off, and it was like it had a 1 terabyte SSD. Oh, which is great. 3050 Ti. I'm pretty sure it had a 12th gen, either 12th or 11th gen Intel processor, and I think it had like a 144 hertz screen, something like that. It was, so good, so good. When I went to go buy it, after I set up like my computer, I'm like, all right, my screen is like, what do you? Oh, far out, I'm losing. My screen's like all loaded up. I had everything ready on the website. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving my screen like this, set up, ready for me to buy this laptop. So I go downstairs, have dinner, come back to my computer, and when I try to purchase it, it says that it's out of stock, and my heart broke. I'm like, oh, this freaking good ass laptop is gone now. There's no, and it was the end of financial year sale, so it was really good, and now it isn't. But I ended up buying a Switch, because I was like mad salty. Uh, so yeah, I bought a Switch, and um, I bought two games. I bought Pokemon Legends Arceus or Arceus, however people want to say it, and then I bought Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mind you, this is my second console that I've ever bought with my own money. The first one would have been the PS4. But yeah, this is the second console I ever bought with my own money. And yeah, it's the first thing that I like spent money on for myself. Like, I guess after having my proper first job. It's pretty big milestone. At least for me personally, I don't know. People might not take it that seriously, or people might not be that deep about it. Like, they'd probably just buy something whenever they feel like it. But yeah, no, for me, I'm like, all right, since the laptop didn't like follow through, since that whole thing with my laptop didn't follow through, I'm going to get something for myself no matter what. I got my first job, been working 40 hours a week, pretty much 38 to 40 hours a week. And yeah, I'm going to do it. And yeah, so I got my Switch, and also my last day that 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 month of June was dreadful. June was dreadful, because not only was one of my best friends calling in sick. He called in sick for that day, which I didn't know. It was his birthday, but also it was the last day for this government funded like coupon kind of thing. It's called like Dine and Discover in New South Wales. If I mean, Australians would be familiar. If you're not Australian, you wouldn't be familiar. Um, it's basically this program that the government started ever since COVID, where they give people like $20 coupons or vouchers, $25 vouchers to go spend at different places. Like, there's two different kinds of vouchers. So there's like a food voucher and an entertainment voucher. And yeah, they expired on that very day. So what they did was a bunch of people were trying to spend their vouchers on that very final day. And it was a whole mess. it was a whole mess that June 30th. Oh man, it was crazy. So many people were like coming in, like, oh, can I get this or can I get that or whatever, and they would try to pay with their vouchers that either were used or expired, or they're trying to use vouchers that were for the other thing. They're trying to use like entertainment vouchers to pay for their food, which is like against the rules pretty much. And yeah, it was pretty hectic. Pretty hectic. Like I don't want to ever be working in the restaurant on a day like that ever again. And I don't think I had. Yeah, I think it's been like I don't think I had a restaurant shift ever since then because of how hectic it was. But yeah, June was wild, and July is showing itself to be just as crazy. I mean, with COVID, like it's been a really weird experience. Like I've just been bed bound like nearly all day every day just because I'm struggling to not only move but like I'm struggling to breathe at some point because it's like, oh man, it's that difficult or it's that tough to breathe. Right now I'm not really having that issue, but yeah, no, these past couple days have been a bit rough. And thankfully my parents have all been off. At least one of my parents have been off at a time, um, to kind of not really look after me, but to kind of help out when I need it. Like I think on Saturday my dad was off, and then on Sunday my mom was off, but my dad had to work. And then yeah, Monday and Tuesday my mom has off, so yeah, she's been here the past 3 days helping me out and sometimes cooking. Because if she's not cooking, then I'll just buy dinner for all of us. But yeah, things have been things have been both rough, but also both, um, I guess, good. I don't know, smooth and rough. I guess so. But yeah, no, I've just been isolating, and in my isolation, I've just been playing Pokemon. I got Pokemon Brilliant, Diamond, and Shining Pearl recently. And uh, if I'm not playing Pokemon Diamond or Pearl, I'd be playing Pokemon Legends. If I'm not playing Pokemon Legends, I'd be playing Super Smash. And if I'm not playing Super Smash, I'm either like watching anime or watching YouTube. Um, yeah, because man, I need some entertainment. I haven't been on like Discord. I haven't been talking to friends as much because I mean I'm struggling to breathe. No way I'm like going in a Discord call to like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? I'm like already running out of breath just doing this podcast. I'm not even gonna lie. But you know, I thought I might as well make a podcast episode while I have time, um, and kind of give a bit of an update of how I'm doing, how things are. Um, Cause yeah, like I do want to keep this podcast going. I don't want to like just leave it in the wind. Cause again, my YouTube channels are passion projects, and to kind of leave things like in the dust, like I did, is kind of like, nah. There's potential with that. Like, I shouldn't just leave it. Shouldn't just leave it alone. There's so much untapped potential left within this podcast, and yeah, I intend on getting there and doing things with this podcast, with this channel. I intend on doing things um with my other channels, There's so much that I'd love to do with my yeah, with my channels, I guess. And there's so much that I'd love to do, so much I feel like has value, and so much things that um I can learn from others, and others might be able to learn from me. There's so many, there's so much value in stories, experiences, and things to share. There's a lot of that, you know. And yeah, like I said, um way back, I think in the first episode, that like this passion project of mine, I'm going to carry on doing. I'm not going to stop, even though it seems like I've stopped for a while. I'm eventually gonna get around to doing it, just like this episode. I mean, honestly, doing this episode is like low key kind of unhealthy because I am struggling to kind of speak, to kind of breathe, and all of that. But so you gotta make some sacrifices. I gotta make some sacrifices if I want to get to where I want to be, if I want to achieve my goals, if I want to, do the things and do the things that I want to do and get to the place or places that I want to be, then I'm going to have to do this. And it's not just the podcast that I'm going to be doing. There's a lot of content that I've thought about doing, and a lot of different things I've thought about talking or thought of talking about. Yeah, my English and my brain functionality is like not 100% there, if you haven't noticed. But just a just a disclaimer that if I do say some things that don't make sense, just know that it's because of the lack of oxygen in my brain. um but yeah, this episode is definitely gonna be a lot shorter than most. Yeah, like I said, this episode was just a bit of an update of how I'm doing, what I've been up to, and well, in regards to that, like I've said, how I'm doing. I've got COVID as well as two other sicknesses, um, and what I've been up to, pretty much work or playing games. um, Short answer. There you go. The short answer to those questions. But yeah, I guess I'll talk about um, the future of this podcast again, and the kind of time frame, or the kind of um, yeah, I guess the plan that I have for this, um, over the course of this year. So yeah, like I said, I've got a lot in store for this podcast, but there is a lot holding me back. Mainly just personal things holding me back. Like, I'm not going to dive into it, but yeah, there are just some restraints that I've got at the moment that is kind of stopping me from 100% diving into the podcast. And first, it's finances. 100%, finances. I need to get things sorted out in my room. A lot of different measurements for tables, or for just a bunch of different equipment. And then once I kind of sort all of that out, then a lot of a better I'm in a lot of a better position once I've cleared out a lot of things and I've measured a lot of things. So yeah, finances and like taking measurements, and equipment. Like, I've been looking at a lot of different things. Like I said, I wanted to get that laptop, and that laptop would have lasted me like 3-4 years. I swear it would. Like, it was a great laptop. I was looking at that thing, like, oh man, that thing looks dope. But yeah, that's besides the point. Yeah, so equipment, like, I'm planning on getting a green screen, as well as like a webcam, obviously, hence the green screen, as well as a computer. I think a PC or a laptop, like a desktop or a laptop. Um, I'm leaning more towards a desktop, but yeah, I believe the desktop is going to be last on the list. Like, I'm getting a green screen, a webcam, um, various micro or not microphones. I'm getting various like arms, like monitor arms and a microphone arm, um, as well as a, oh man, what is it called? Like those light panels. There's like a bunch. Like there's a bunch of things that I plan on getting, as well as a new desk. I don't know if I said that already. Like there's a bunch of things I plan on getting, um, in order to up the quality of life as well as the quality of content. Um, yeah, because it makes things easier for me as well as makes things better for the viewer and for the experience of the viewer and all that. And another restraint is time. Working 38 hours a week, 38 to 40, however many hours. It's pretty rough. And I have 2 days off, Sunday and Monday, but it doesn't even feel like 2 days off, to be honest with you. Um, because it is a physically taxing job. Yeah, it is a physically taxing job, and you're dealing with a lot of things wherever you are, wherever you're stationed, whatever you're doing in the workplace. It's never just like one thing that you're doing. There's quite a lot to go through, and yeah, time is like huge because a lot of the time at home that I spend, typically, it's just recovering from the entire work week. Honestly, like I'll just be either having dinner and going to sleep after work, or actually, honestly, that's it. That's just it. When I come home from work, doesn't matter what the time is. I might be coming home from work at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m., or 4:30 a.m., whatever the time is. I'll always eat something, have a shower, then go to sleep. Like, I'm not doing anything else after. And then the next day, depending on whatever time I start or whatever, um, I would be doing my laundry before going to work, or just straight going to work. Like I barely have time to do anything else, and yeah, it's been pretty rough. Sorry for the pauses. I have to mute my mic when I cough. Obviously, just manners. But yeah, like I barely have time to spend with my parents and spend with my brother. My brother comes home like maybe once every 2 weeks now because he's just been so busy at work. And yeah, even some Sundays my dad goes to work and it'll just be me and my mom. So yeah, time is like a huge thing with like a huge restraint with my life at home, my life or my yeah, it's a huge restraint with the current circumstances of what I'm doing. And yeah, like I can't really spend time progressing or planning out what I'm going to do for my channels when I'm not spending time with my family or, you know, like a lot of that. So, jeez. All of a sudden, I'm coughing a lot and my throat's getting itchy. So, um, I think I'm going to call the podcast here. I will definitely elaborate maybe in the next episode, But yeah, I think talking for like half an hour is making the virus within me like be really upset. Um, but yeah, no, I'll just finish whatever it was I was talking about, and then I'll close off the episode. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. I think my mom's cooking something. But, uh, but yeah, um, going back to the conversation at hand. Um, yeah, like I said, I've got quite a few restraints on me, like time and finances, and yeah, there's a few. But that won't stop me from pursuing the podcast and pursuing content creation because it's been a passion or an interest of mine for the longest time. And yeah, this isn't something that I'm going to give up on. This isn't something I'm going to stop. This isn't something that I won't do. Like I'm absolutely doing this. I've already made up my mind, but there are going to be times where I take pauses or take some time off, which doesn't necessarily mean stopping. Um, yeah, it's just like a pause for the moment, maybe to catch up on other things or to spend time doing other things, like things that have higher priority in my life in the moment, like spending time with my parents or my brother, stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I've got a lot ahead for this podcast, and I will have a proper topic to talk about next time. Um, yeah, so man, it has been a while, so I'm very, very rusty when it comes to, you know, operating this entire thing. Um, but yeah, have some leniency, please. I beg. um, and, you know, in due time, things will be a lot better than it is in terms of content creation. Like, or not content creation, in terms of the quality of the content that I'll put out. Things will look pretty different over the span of the year. I absolutely guarantee that. I think when the podcast hits the year mark, it'll be pretty different by then. Well, that concludes the 11th episode of this podcast, Core Growth Podcast. Again, I said it would be a shorter episode. Yeah, it's one hell of a shorter episode. But yeah, I'll get back into like deeper topics eventually. Maybe when I have more time. But yeah, as always, I love you all. Take care. I will see you in the next episode. And goodbye. Hello, it's me again, post edit Aaron, just dropping in. I just wanted to say and make a quick note that I was pretty sick throughout the recording of this episode, and if it felt a bit off for this episode, if things were getting a bit like off track every now and then, yeah, it's because I was still pretty sick. I still am pretty sick, but I'm feeling a lot better now. Yeah, post edit Aaron, just wanted to let you know that yeah, I'm a bit better, still pretty sick, but I'll be dropping out more episodes pretty soon, so hopefully you can look forward to that. I love you all, take care, and I will talk to you all later.